Hey there, everyone. It's Dr. Kim. I just came across this video on YouTube about highly sensitive people. And I know there's a book about the highly sensitive person that's been out for quite some time now. But it really was kind of an inspired awareness that there's so many of us identifying ourselves as empaths or highly sensitive people in a way that is really harmful, painful, really difficult to kind of live being so sensitive. And we do all these things to try to numb ourselves or not be so sensitive, or hey, how can I protect myself because I'm so sensitive? I need protection from other people around me or protection from the world around me. I feel everything so intensely. And I think there are so many of us, it's like 20% of people who are highly sensitive in some way, but who don't realize the gift that is in this and who haven't integrated a way of functioning in the world where instead of being an empath and constantly bombarded on all this negativity and needing protection because we are so sensitive, that we can begin to experience this as the gift it is here to be. And one of the big things I've really experienced in the last couple of years is that when we transition from duality into neutrality, from that space of better than, worse than, positive, negative, good and bad, into neutrality, which is I am at ease with all that is, that this is the doorway to our true freedom. This is the doorway where if you feel that you're an empath or a highly sensitive person, an HSP, where you can let all of this go, all the wrongness about the sensitivity, and experience something truly divine. So I know in the book they talk about the depth of processing. So an HSP, a highly sensitive person, has an ability to experience things so profoundly, so deeply, and to process things very, 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 very quickly. And then it can be overwhelming. Like you've got all these choices to make, and you're going to go buy cereal, and there's 85 kinds of cereal. And so then we try to learn, okay, what's the best cereal? What should I be eating? What should I not be eating? And we try to make the best choice using the mind. This gets us into all kinds of trouble because the answers do not lie in the mind. It won't matter how much you learn about all the cereals in the universe. You will never be able to make the right choice for you that way. The other thing that happens is we can be really overstimulated and overwhelmed because we are so aware of so many things in such a profound level. So it becomes like, oh, I've got to put the barriers up. I've got to protect myself. I've got to not take things on from others. I've got to go in a room and just decompress because the world around me is so chaotic that it's overwhelming me. This is another thing that is ready to end. We do not need to live in this protected way anymore. We can actually live in fluidity with all that is and not experience this as overstimulation. The third thing is this empathy, that we can feel everyone around us. We can feel things around us. We can feel other people's energy, feel other people's moods and emotions, especially the ones who are not aware of them themselves. This was a big thing for me when I kind of had my awakening so many years ago. I could hear people think, I could be aware of what was going on within them, and I didn't realize that they are not. I was like, how come everyone's lying? But I didn't realize it's that they really have no awareness, or very, very little awareness of what's going on within themselves. And so then we become this like sponge, picking up everything and taking it on and feeling the burden of it. We do not need to experience it like that anymore. When you move from duality into neutrality, you can be in fluidity, like all that energy just moves right through me. And it actually can be a really positive experience to feel so profoundly. And then the last thing is the subtleties of everything are apparent to us, to highly sensitive people, or to the people who might call themselves empaths. There is this profound awareness. And so instead of thinking of it like an affliction, where we're so sensitive. Oh, you shouldn't be so sensitive. You really should toughen up. You shouldn't be so sensitive. And the wrongness or weakness that is implied in that. We can remember that as an HSP, a highly sensitive person, or an empath, we are so profoundly aware. And when we can allow ourselves to have that awareness in neutrality, I'm aware of all things in grace and ease, we can experience all things as divine. completely different experience from what might be the sensitivity of like the mattress is too hard. Oh no, it's too soft. I can't get it just right. The drink is too hot. Oh no, it's too cold. I can't get it just right. And being displeased with everything or afflicted by everything, or even worse, inflamed about everything, where the physical body starts to manifest symptoms against these things that you feel are attacking you or you feel are a threat, where your physical body begins to react against them and you have seizures or sensitivities or allergies or autoimmune illness, or fill in the blank with the way this manifests physically and medically. We do not need to perceive and receive our awareness that way anymore. The key to really unlocking and making this transition from a HSP to a highly aware being, or from an empath to a deeply aware being, lies in entering neutrality, where we no longer live in that space of judgment and fear, but we resonate in the frequency of love or above. And that is through the doorway of compassion. Can I have compassion for everything that I experience? Can I allow myself to experience my deepest fear, my deepest grief, my deepest shame, my deepest pain from a space of that part of me which is infinite, that part of me which is awakened? Compassion. Can I have compassion for my deepest pain and that which I notice in others, that which I notice around me? Can I live that way through this space of compassion so that I do experience all things in fluidity and harmony as a fully aware and alive being? Because this is one of the most important things happening on the planet right now. In a planet that has been so unconscious as we have been, we cannot invite in the solutions from that space of being numb. It requires aware beings. It requires beings who are awakened in order to sort of quote unquote solve the problems of humanity. And it's so easy for us, for myself, being able to read people's bodies and know exactly why they're sick and exactly what needs to happen and assist them that way so they can be healthy. And for other people who are doing other similar things, highly sensitive people are profoundly intuitive. We can allow ourselves to have awareness that goes beyond ordinary consciousness. And that can be really, really fluid. Sometimes it's like, I don't even know where it comes from. And I know it took decades for me to integrate this in a functional way where I could really use it in harmony in my life and assist other people too. So if you do identify as an HIP or a highly sensitive person, know that you are not alone and you do not need to experience life in that dread of that victimhood of empathy and taking on energy. You can actually allow a great awakening. Most of the work I'm sharing is all along these lines, so certainly stay tuned at drkimd.com if you would like more, and certainly share this video, because 20% of the planet are HSPs, but I think it's much higher. I think there are way more of us awakening right now, beginning to feel things, and the first thing we begin to feel is our pain. That can be a really difficult thing to deal with. That can make us want to numb it all back up or take a Prozac or medicate all over again. But when we move through this, there is so much on the other side of that, including a really fluid way of experiencing life. It's Dr. Kim Duramo from the American Institute of Mind Body Medicine sharing my love with you. You can subscribe again at drkimd.com and certainly subscribe on my YouTube channel as well. I love sharing in here. I'll see you soon.